friends, it's me, Mrs. Powell, and Boko, our bearded dragon from room 201, and we're here today to talk to you about a science unit about animals and their physical characteristics and how that helps them survive in their environment. Boko here is a bearded dragon. Bearded dragons are natives of Australia. What do you know about Australia? Well, much of Australia is covered in desert. Deserts are dry places. They don't get a lot of rain and they're full of sand and rocks. So Boko here has many things on his body and the way he is made that help him survive in the desert. So if you look closely at Boko and all of his features, what do you see that might help him? He's trying to get back to my shoulder where he likes it. What do you see that might help him survive in a desert? If you said his color, you're correct. Boko is a fancy bearded dragon, and that just means he's got bright colors. So where he would live in Australia, the sand would match his color and be very similar so he can hide in the sand from predators. Also, Boko has this thing on his head, if I can get him out of my hair. You can see right here on the top of Boko's head, about right there, he has what looks like a third eye. It's a round part of the top of his head, and that is because a lot of the predators for bearded dragons are actually birds, large birds that would swoop down and grab Boko and sadly eat him for dinner. So this part of his head can detect shadow. So if something were to fly over Boko and it looked dark above him, instantly he would know there might be a predator above him and he would run as fast as he can. Take a look at his claws. Boko's got some serious claws. He doesn't scratch me on purpose, but sometimes he gets me with those little claws. Those are obviously great for digging. He loves to dig in the sand. A female bearded dragon would dig in the sand to lay her eggs. And also he can use them for grabbing and climbing. As you can see here, he loves to climb. He likes to be right here on my shoulder. Boko also has a beard. He is called a bearded dragon, and this part under his chin looks puffed up. If you were a predator coming after him, he can make it turn black. He can make his whole body fill with air and make himself seem so big that a predator would not want to mess with him, and he could look very dangerous all at once. Although he is not super dangerous to his predators, he'll just look that way and scare them off. He can also puff up his body like a balloon. If you've been in my room, you've seen him do that before, and my kids always know that means Boko wants more heat. If he makes himself bigger, he can actually get more heat from his heat lamp. Because he is a lizard, he is a cold-blooded animal. He depends on the heat from the sun to warm up his body, or else he would just freeze. He also depends on the sun for UV light. The UV light gives him more energy and helps him digest his food. And so during the day, it's really important that Boko gets the UV beams from the sun. And in a classroom, we have a heat lamp and we have a UV lamp to make sure he gets both of those things. He does like to be cold at night, just like a desert animal would be cold at night. It slows down his metabolism and allows his body to rest. There's so many things that a bearded dragon might do in the wild that they might not do in captivity, like Boko. A lot of bearded dragons will go into brumation, which is kind of like, I know you've heard of hibernation, like a bear. Brumation is when a bearded dragon kind of sleeps for several months at a time. He doesn't eat or drink much during that time or use the restroom or anything. His body just kind of slows down. And that's to allow for times of famine for him, or when he can't get a lot of food in the desert or a lot of water in the desert. But since he lives with me and he gets attention every single day, he never really goes into brumation, and that's okay. We love giving him attention because that way he doesn't turn his beard black very often. If his beard were to go black, then I would know he doesn't feel well, or he's angry, or he's scared of something, and I could go and tend to him. If I did not come near him or touch him or hold him or feed him very often, then he would become a little more wild. But because we pay so much attention to Boko, he gets lots of attention and he stays very docile. Many animals have these adaptations, and so I want you to think about that. When you see an animal, what on that animal's body, what about that animal helps it be a survivor, helps it survive in the wild? Why do some birds have crazy beautiful feathers and some just have brown feathers? And why do some of them have big long necks like the cranes we see? And why do some of them have just little short necks? Why are some birds very big? Why are some very small? Why are some snakes long and green and others are small and brown? I want you to really think about those things in nature and how they were made and how they adapt and how they're put together and how that helps them survive in the wild. So go and enjoy your lessons on STEMscopes. There's some great videos on there for you to see. Make sure you watch those and answer the questions and submit those to your teacher. And we'll be seeing you soon. Have a great day, Huskies.